Right, today at Benwick Sports we've got one of the most recognisable faces in angling with us, Mark Pollard, and he's here to show us all about his float range. So, nice to see you, mate.
Morning, Ian.
Morning, my friend.
Pleasure as always.
What do you got for us?
Well, I've called in to do my annual top-up for one of my floats, and I just want to run through really. I mean, we're in the fens here, and you sell probably more floats than anyone.
Yeah.
And one of the most popular range of floats, my pattern, is the MP1 that comes in 6 sizes: 210, 310, 410, 510, 710, and there is a 1210, slightly bigger one. But these floats are ideal for fishing natural venues. I know some of the thing is, people have different preferences, floats, what they use them for. But ideally, these are well suited for fishing through the water, and because they've got a wire stem, when you lay them in, if you've got a spread bulk,
Yeah.
they tend to cock nicely.
Mhm.
With a carbon stem, tends to hold the surface tension of the water.
Yeah, so it breaks that through, yeah.
And that's why I sell a lot of these. They're a real cult following from when we had the image days.
Yeah,
We've done a float
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
They used to do a
I've still
cut
got
cane.
quite a few.
Yeah,
these
such
ones.
a popular
Yeah,
float.
they will, mate.
But they're brilliant for pinky, squat fishing, hemp fishing, caster, but anything through the water. I know a lot of the commercial guys use these sometimes F1 fishing
Oh, do they?
through the winter.
Yeah.
But from my way of thinking, just designed really as a natural float for fishing through the water with a wire stem, so the float wants to cock and can read it all the way through the water.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just pick up a couple of patterns
Yeah.
that I know you sell a lot. And these here, my MP Roach, that's got a cult following. I brought out first like in a carbon stem and brought different sizes. And this is sort of an all-round pole float, the rugby ball type shape. And they go from 0.5 gram up to 4 gram.
Yeah.
And I've also done them in a wire stem. Personally myself, I don't like a wire stem for this style of fishing.
No.
Because I'm always fishing on the vet, lowering it down, and I tend to find that a wire stem can tangle more than a carbon stem.
I use your wires in Ely.
But, well,
In
yeah,
Ely
no.
town. Yeah, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
the thoughts behind pole float fishing is a wire stem's a stable float and a carbon stem's not. But as the years gone on, more and more people tend to use carbon. I think the main reason they use carbon is that they don't bend the wire when they're fishing.
Yeah.
Because we're all heavy-handed and
Yeah.
it's easy to bend the wire.
Yeah.
And carbon you can't
No.
because it's very rigid.
Yeah.
But I know that's a popular float that you sell here.
Yeah, that is.
For all the deep rivers that we've got round here. I mean, Hughes through Ely, Littleport.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's an ideal float for there.
So what you got to 5?
It goes up to 5
yeah.
gram. It goes 0.5 gram, 3/4 gram, 1.5 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram, 4 gram, 5 gram. I've done some intermittent sizes, so I know you do like a 125, 175, or 2.5 gram,
Yeah.
just to add to the range. But most popular are really 0.5 to 3 gram.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I take to Ireland myself when I go out there September, October. I take the 4 and 5 gram. To be fair, even out there, I rarely use it unless a situation you need a heavier float.
Yeah.
Like deeper water, or if it's moving a bit.
Do you fish it to hand? Do you
Well,
use the...
I've done very little fishing to hand in Ireland because it's as the years have gone on, it's more stepped up English style.
Oh, is it? Oh, right.
But it used to be fishing to
Yeah.
hand. It was always fishing to hand. And then in them days, they were using wire stems.
Mhm.
Well, a carbon stem to hand's much easier. Because all the weight's down below and the float just follows the olivet or the weight out.
Yeah.
Whereas with a wire stem, it tends to want to go over itself
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and tangle. But
So for faster fishing, for that style of fishing, the carbons are much
yeah,
better float.
yeah. I mean, people presume wire stem it's stable, but I think carbon stems are more stable float, providing you've got it shotted right.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, rule of thumb really, you never take the bulk of the weight past halfway.
No.
Always keep it sort of 3/4 down. But I mean, people shot the floats all different. I know in Ireland some of the guys use like gram, gram and a half, even 2 gram, and they'll put spread bulk but real big shot.
Oh,
So
really?
it's still falling through the water but at a faster
Yeah,
pace.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's more fish and it's just reading your float.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a general round pole float. I mean, the MP Roach rugby ball style float, brilliant fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Classic,
yeah.
classic style, isn't it?
And then also my plastic floats that I know you sell a lot of, my pellet wagglers. There's a new one I've launched, which I've just dropped into, is the 2 gram one. Because people are using smaller pellet wagglers now. And always like 4, 6, 8 and 10 gram. you find a lot of the pleasure anglers will use the bigger float because it's easier to cast and get distance.
Yeah.
Whereas really, if you've got in all fishing, if you can land the lighter float at distance, it's just better presentation. But bringing in a little 2 gram one, a lot of commercials, you'll chuck into an island, you're only chucking 20 yards, you're not chucking fast, you don't need a big float.
No.
Yeah, that's a nice little addition.
Yeah.
And of course the weight on there, they're weighted right to the tip, so you haven't got to add weight, just use a pellet wagger attachment.
Yep.
No shot down, because you're only fishing normally a couple of foot deep.
Yeah.
And it's just a free falling pellet.
Yeah, you can see why that would go in nicer.
Yeah.
Just a little
Yeah.
flop. Yep. Yeah, they are popular, Mark.
And then my slims, which I launched, I think I launched these last year. It's the second year, no, this might be the third year with these.
Yeah.
I do a thicker insert waggler, but the art with this, I'll show you if I just pull that one out. I've got what I call thick plastic range that you can pull the tip out. And what I've done, instead of having the tip stuck in there because it's watertight, it's sealed, on the thicker ones, what I used to do, the red top, I used to paint the bottom black. I could turn it round. If I was in white water, you'd see the black top. And then if I was in dark water, just turn it round, stick it back in the other way.
Yeah.
Because I do paint a lot of tops of my bristles on my floats black, just to give it something to mark against for a bite, just to look against.
Because here in the fens, you've got hardly any banks or vegetation. A lot of them have you.
Yeah.
So that is a problem.
Got that white look.
You've got that white water, so that is.
So
great
rather
idea.
than completely ruin a bristle, I just paint the top bit, just tip it black.
Yep.
And you can see it.
Yeah. We just put a bit of float.
Tubing
silicone
over,
and all that sort of thing. But
you could get
affects
coloured,
doesn't it? You know, so
well,
it's much better
I
to.
think you do here at Benwick Sports. I think you sell. Is it hollow tips that you can push over some of the bristles on floats?
Lots of different sorts.
Which I've bought from. That's a brilliant little add-on. You can make your bristle thicker so you can see it. So if your eyesight's a little bit iffy, I know at Benwick Sports they actually push over your pole bristle.
Yeah, hollow
It's a
bristle.
brilliant add-on. Yeah. But sorry, getting back to this. So I haven't had that stuck in, but the advantage of that is, on my thicker inserts, the 4.5mm starlight pushes into there, so you can fish into the evening.
Yeah, nice.
And then the smaller one that I think is it 2.5mm?
Yeah.
That you can pull out and push that in there, so you can fish into the evening.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And then I sell a lot of my plastics because of that, because they can pull the tip out, put a starlight in, and night fish with it.
Yeah, of course you can.
Not that I do that sort of thing.
No.
I'm not a bivvy boy.
No. No, me neither.
No, but it's great to call in, and obviously you've took stock of them again, and you guys out there want to order them, phone up Benwick Sports or have a look on their shop online. And
great range, Mark. Nice to see you, mate.
And you.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Good on you, mate.